for the mere fact that you have been a bit reluctant in responding to either our correspondences, or whenever we invite you, you will send a junior officer to come and meet with the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. By virtue of the rules and responsibilities we have to oversight revenue-generating agencies, all government revenue-generating agencies, either GOEs or MDAs, the Constitution have given us that powers. So on the basis of that, the committee in our last sitting took a very serious action, which they recommended that we should put before the Senate our resolution as a committee to write to Mr. President and seek for your removal from office. You came just after that pronouncement, you rushed and you were here. That shows that the position of the committee was right. Because if after our pronouncement you appeared not quite up to 20 minutes, then maybe you did it intentionally, or there are reasons. So before we make that proposal to the Committee of the Whole of the Senate, the committee will want to seek explicit explanation from you. What was the cause of that, and why the same thing happened previously and it's happening again? So if the committee is convinced with your explanation, at this stage, at that stage, the committee can take a decision, and then we move on. So you have the floor, please.
We know you very closely. Yourself and my friend, who legitimately raised that issue at the last meeting, Senator Oji Ozokalu. He is a person who I know, does not allow any form of indiscipline, to mar the work that he is doing, not just in the Senate, but also, in his own private and business life. I come to know him very closely when I was the leader of the Senate and he was the chief whip. And he was responsible for whipping both myself and the Senate President, whenever whenever we have, any infraction. And I'm sure the level of remorse that has been shown by the Registrar of Corporate Affairs Commission, is quite acceptable, and I think we'll do it. But I think it is important for him to also know that the National Assembly is above everyone else. When you look at the constitution of the country, they mention the National Assembly before they even come to the executive arm of government. This is the only institution that can hold the president to account. The only institution that has the right and the duty, whenever there is any infraction in the process of governance, even the president can be impeached by this institution. Therefore, nobody who is working in the executive arm of government or any other arm of government should take National Assembly, for granted. Therefore, if you don't know, you should know. Go to the constitution of this nation and look at the powers of the National Assembly and make sure that you don't find yourself at the wrong end of the stick of the National Assembly. You are a junior brother, and I think I'm pleading with the leadership of this committee and the leadership of the Senate, because at the end of the day, the position of the chairman of this committee is like the position of the Senate President. The same rules, that guide the operations of the chairman He is now in his capacity representing the President of the Senate. Any position that he takes on any matter that comes on the work of the Finance Committee is also directly the work of the President of this Senate. Therefore, he should be accorded all the necessary respect and the necessary obedience whenever it comes to the work of his committee. Mr. Chairman, I plead with you, to consider the regrets that have been expressed, by the registrar, and let us take it in our stride and let the bygones be gone. Thank you very much.
He has shown enough, he's been enough remorseful to show that the Senate is imprinted inside the Constitution. It's not our law. We are just doing our job. The Constitution has asked us to do. And since you have created a liaison office between you and the National Assembly, sin no more. If we catch you again, we'll cut your hand. Please, Mr. Chairman, I appeal to you on behalf of the committee to be merciful on that and let us just warn him. Thank you very much.
Letter taking permission. The letter, it's permission granted to them by Mr. President to go on a bilateral meeting in the United States, in Washington. So he's unavoidably absent today again. But in his place, I said the next most ranking person in the institution should appear. And I believe the executive director is here. And we can now take the executive director. You introduce yourself, introduce your team, and then give us, based on what we requested from you, explanations of those things. And then if we have any question from here, we ask. But I will make a simple comment after your introduction, before you start. Go ahead.
Sometimes we, the younger ones, can make some little comments. Sir, what actually took place was very sad, and I happen to know him as a person, and I know how remorse he is on this issue. Very deeply remorse. And I know who you are, and I know that this committee is made up of very senior colleagues. Some of us are just learning from them. I just said I thank us for the opportunity for his explanation. So with the level of his remorseness, and as what we have learned from you people, I feel that we could give him a second chance. That's my own humble opinion before our elders should correct me if I'm wrong. I thank you so much, Chairman.
You will submit all those things, and then you can ask this question, because we want to know those liabilities. You understand? Who has not, where are the dividends coming from? Have you been able to receive any dividend from anywhere? Has any of the collapsed entities been able to be closed, and who is receiving what? You understand? So this is the question he's asking. So I think from your explanation you give us. But let me quickly guide, because so that we don't waste so much time. I have seen your presentation in terms of your budget proposal. Go direct to the summary, and then highlight to us to understand. Then we can ask you questions. We have moved from the other issue now. We are going into the real issue that cost you, in our own assumption, that may have cost you not to appear. And what you presented here is very scanty. We are talking about revenue. We want to see the inflow. And then also, you have the right as cost of collection or as operating costs to retain certain percentage. Even those percentages that you are retaining, the committee has the right to look into them to see what you have done with it. So what you are giving us here is like a synopsis of what you do, which is not in line with financial regulations reporting. If you want to report, report the way you're supposed to report as if you are doing your financial reporting. So I don't know if you have other documents to give to us.
56.
I don't think we will have any issue with it. The only thing maybe I will ask here is that why is the overhead so much? If you look at the overhead, it's almost 100% higher than the personnel. Eh? And then capital is so limited. So that we need to. And then secondly, before our next engagement, you also have to look at how MOFI can stand on its own. Because if you are collecting money from the national budget, and at the same time you have companies that you take dividends from, who they are not paying, we have seen it here. For many years, they have not paid, and they are still operational. So that means there is an institutional problem there, which we need to discuss about and see where. And at that point, even the total of your budget for MOFI, go and see what Morocco, which is smaller, are doing. Go and see other places. They are smaller than us, but they are doing very well. So I think there is need for us to sit down and deliberate. For the budget, I think we can go ahead and pass their budget as presented. Then other issues, we will now reschedule this meeting for next week. We will not be around though. Go ahead, please. Daura, that the decision taken by this committee at our last sitting should be rescinded. So I'll put the question: those in favor that we temper just